She witnessed the billionaire's crime. He tucked her hair back and said, "You'll forget everyone but me." Chapter 1. 3 rules for surviving New York City after midnight. Keep your head down, your phone charged, and never, ever look when you hear a scream. I broke the 3rd rule. And now, I'm going to die. The gallery opening had run late. My boss, Miranda Chen, owner of the prestigious Chen Contemporary, had insisted I stay until the last champagne-drunk patron stumbled out at 11:47 p.m. "Lock up properly, Sera," she'd said, already halfway to her waiting car. "The Rothko piece is worth more than both our lives combined." She wasn't wrong. The painting, a swirl of crimson and black that looked like violence trying to become beauty, had sold for $3 million tonight. To a buyer who'd paid in cash and refused to give his real name. Red flag? Absolutely. My problem? Not even remotely. I was just the assistant curator. 26 years old, drowning in student debt, living in a 6th-floor walk-up in Bushwick with 2 roommates and a persistent mouse problem. Art fraud and money laundering were above my pay grade, so I'd locked up, set the alarm, triple-checked the locks like Miranda's paranoia had taught me, and started the long subway ride home. The L train was running local. Of course it was. After midnight, the MTA operated on spite and broken dreams. I got off at my stop, Morgan Avenue, at 12:34 a.m. The platform was empty except for a homeless man sleeping on a bench and a couple arguing in rapid Spanish. Normal. Safe enough. I'd made this walk 1,000 times. The streetlights on Bogart Street were out. Also normal. The city had fixed them 3 times in the past year. They lasted about a week each time. I pulled my jacket tighter. October in Brooklyn. Cold enough to see your breath. Not cold enough to justify the good coat I couldn't afford anyway. My apartment was 6 blocks north. 6 blocks of industrial buildings, converted lofts, and the kind of trendy restaurants where a single appetizer cost more than my daily food budget. I was 3 blocks in when I heard it. The scream. Female. Terrified. Coming from the alley between a closed furniture warehouse and an artisanal coffee roastery that charged $8 for a latte. Keep walking. Not your problem. Call 911 from a safe distance. That's what any sane person would do. But I'd grown up in foster care. 7 homes in 12 years. I knew what it sounded like when someone needed help and nobody was coming. I knew what it felt like to scream into darkness and hear only silence. So I stopped, pulled out my phone, opened the camera app, not to film, but for the flashlight, and looked into the alley. The scene assembled itself in fragments. Strobe light horror. A black SUV engine running, blocking the alley's far end. 3 men in expensive suits. The kind of tailoring that cost more than my monthly rent. A woman on her knees. Blonde. Maybe 30. Cocktail dress torn at the shoulder. Mascara streaming down her face. And blood. So much blood. Another man lay crumpled against the brick wall. Not moving. Very, very not moving. The pool spreading beneath him looked black in the shadows, but I knew it was red. One of the standing men held a gun. Another held the woman's hair, yanking her head back. And the third turned toward my light. He was beautiful. That was my first, stupid, completely inappropriate thought. Even in the harsh glare of my phone's flashlight, even with what was clearly murder happening 5 feet away from him, he was beautiful. Tall, 6'2" maybe. Broad shoulders under a charcoal suit that probably cost 5 figures. Dark hair swept back from a face that belonged in a Renaissance painting. All sharp angles and aristocratic bone structure. And his eyes. Even from 20 feet away, I could see his eyes. Dark. Not brown. Something deeper. Obsidian, maybe. Or onyx. The kind of dark you could fall into and never find your way out. Those eyes locked onto mine. and for one infinite, terrible second, we just stared at each other. My brain screamed, "Run!" My body had frozen. Deer in headlights cliché, but God, it was accurate. "Well?" he said. His voice was smooth, cultured, British accent but softened by years in America. "This is unfortunate. Not angry, not panicked, unfortunate. Like I'd interrupted his dinner reservation, not a murder." The man with the gun turned toward me, started to raise his weapon. "No." One word from the beautiful man. Command absolute. The gun lowered immediately. He walked toward me. Slow. Deliberate. Each step echoing in the alley despite the ambient city noise. I should run. Should scream. Should do literally anything except stand there like an idiot. But I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't do anything but watch him approach. He stopped 2 feet away. Close enough that I could smell his cologne. Something expensive and woody with an undertone of smoke. Close enough that I could see his eyes weren't just dark. They were knowing. Ancient. Like he'd seen every possible human reaction and found them all tedious. Except now. Now he looked. Interested. "You shouldn't be here," he said softly. I found my voice. Barely. I'll forget I saw anything, I swear. I was just walking home. I didn't see faces. I can't identify anyone. Shh. He raised one hand. I flinched. But he didn't hit me, didn't grab me. Instead, with infinite gentleness, he reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. The gesture was so tender, so intimate, that my brain short-circuited. His fingers lingered against my cheek. Cool. Steady. "You have beautiful eyes," he said. "Hazel with gold flecks. Quite striking in this light." I couldn't speak. Couldn't process why a man who'd just murdered someone was complimenting my eyes. He leaned closer, his breath warm against my ear. "Here's what's going to happen, darling," he whispered. "You're going to forget you were here tonight. Forget what you saw. Forget these men, this place, this moment." Relief flooded through me. He was letting me go. I'd walk away, never speak of this. Never. "But you won't forget me." His hand moved from my cheek to my jaw, tilting my face up to meet his eyes. "You'll forget everyone but me," he continued, voice dropping even lower, hypnotic. "Because I'm going to find you, learn everything about you, and when I do..." He smiled. It should have been threatening, should have been terrifying. Instead, it was promising. "When I do, you'll understand why meeting me tonight was the best and worst thing that will ever happen to you." He stepped back, releasing me. "Run along now, little witness. I'll see you very soon." I ran. Sprinted down Bogart Street like hell itself was behind me. Didn't stop until I reached my building. Fumbled my keys, dropped them twice. Finally got inside, slammed the door. All 6 locks turned. My roommates were asleep. The apartment was dark and blessedly normal. I stood in the entryway, gasping, shaking, trying to understand what had just happened. I'd witnessed a murder. The killer had seen my face, touched me, let me go, and promised to find me. I should call the police, right now, tell them everything. But when I pulled out my phone, my hands were shaking so hard I couldn't dial. And something else stopped me. His words, echoing in my head. "You'll forget everyone but me." It should have sounded like a threat. Instead, it sounded like a promise. Like fate. Like the beginning of something I couldn't possibly understand yet. I checked the locks again, then again. Crawled into bed fully clothed, and lay awake until dawn, feeling phantom fingers against my cheek. Knowing, with terrible certainty, that he meant what he said. He would find me. And when he did, my life as I knew it would end. Chapter 2. The next morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 2 years. Miranda would be furious, but I couldn't face the gallery. Couldn't pretend everything was normal when I'd watched someone die last night. When I'd been touched by the man who'd killed him. Food poisoning, I told her voicemail. Bad sushi. I'm so sorry. Weak excuse. But my voice shook convincingly enough. I made coffee, poured it down the sink, made more, couldn't drink it. My roommate Jasmine knocked on my bedroom door around 10. You okay? You look like shit. Thanks. I attempted a smile. Failed. Just feeling rough. Need anything? I've got that ginger tea that helped last time you were sick. I'm fine, really. She didn't believe me, but Jasmine was good at respecting boundaries. Came with being a social worker, knowing when to push and when to step back. Okay. Text if you need me. I'm at the office until 6. After she left, I sat on my bed and stared at my phone. Call the police. It's not too late. Tell them what you saw. I opened the browser, searched Murder Brooklyn last night. Nothing yet. Too recent, maybe. Or too well covered up. I tried variations. Bogart Street crime. Morgan Avenue incident. Brooklyn homicide. Nothing. Like it never happened. But I had evidence. I'd been there. I could describe the scene, the men, him. My fingers hesitated over the keyboard. What would I tell them? That I'd seen a murder, but the killer had caressed my face and let me go. That he'd promised to find me. They'd think I was crazy, or complicit, or both. And worse, if I reported it, he'd know. He'd know I'd broken the unspoken agreement, that I hadn't forgotten. The thought terrified me more than it should. What's wrong with me? Why am I protecting him? I wasn't protecting him. I was protecting myself. That's what I told myself anyway. The flowers arrived at noon. My buzzer rang, startling in the quiet apartment. I crept to the intercom like the walls might be listening. Yes? Delivery for Sera Sinclair. Bored voice, professional. I didn't order anything. It's a delivery, not an order. You want it or not? I buzzed him up, waited by the door, chain lock engaged, until I heard footsteps on the 6th floor. Through the crack, I saw a delivery guy in a standard uniform. Real company logo. Normal. He held an enormous bouquet. 24 roses, deep red, almost black in certain light. Sign here. He thrust a tablet at me. I signed. Took the flowers, closed the door quickly. The card was tucked between the stems. Heavy cream cardstock. Expensive. My hands shook as I opened it. Elegant handwriting in black ink. Hazel with gold flecks. Even more beautiful in daylight, I imagine. Sleep well last night? A no return address. No florist name on the wrapping. But I knew. He found me. Less than 12 hours. He'd found my name, my address, and sent flowers like we were in some twisted courtship. I dropped the bouquet. Roses scattered across my floor. Thorns catching on the cheap carpet. Red petals like blood spatter. I grabbed my phone. This time, I'd call. I'd tell them everything. But when I unlocked the screen, there was a text from an unknown number. Don't. That's all it said. One word. As I stared at it, another message came through. Calling the police would be unfortunate, for both of us. My heart hammered. He was watching. Somehow. Right now. I went to the window. Looked down at the street. Too many people. Too many cars. Anyone could be him. Or working for him. But mostly for the woman in the alley. The blonde. She has a daughter. 8 years old. I'd hate for something to happen to them both. Ice flooded my veins. He wasn't just threatening me. He was threatening the victim, the woman who'd been on her knees crying, watching someone die. She had a daughter, and if I talked, that little girl would lose her mother too. I texted back with shaking fingers, "What do you want?" 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. To see you again. Dinner. Tonight. 8 p.m. I'll send a car. Wear something beautiful. Not that you need help with that. I stared at the messages. This was insane. Dinner with a murderer? With a man who'd stalked me, found me, threatened me, all in less than 12 hours? I typed, "No." His response was immediate. "Then I'll come to you. Your building, your apartment, your bedroom. I'd prefer the restaurant. More civilized. But I'm flexible." The threat was clear, explicit. He knew where I lived. Nothing could keep him out if he wanted in. At least a public restaurant meant witnesses, meant safety, meant nothing. He killed someone in an alley with 3 witnesses present. He's not afraid of public places. But what choice did I have? Fine, but I have conditions. The response took longer this time. I could almost feel his amusement through the screen. "I'm listening. Public place. No isolated tables. No back rooms. And you answer my questions. Deal. The car will arrive at 7:30. Don't be late. I'm never late for something I've been waiting for." The messages stopped. I sat on my floor, surrounded by roses and thorns, and tried to understand how my life had imploded in less than 24 hours. Yesterday I was nobody. An assistant curator with student loans and ambition. Today I was the possession of a murderer who sent flowers and made dinner plans. And the worst part? The absolute worst part? When I looked at those roses, at that elegant handwriting, at the dangerous promise in every word, part of me wanted to know what would happen if I said yes. I spent the afternoon in a daze, tried to eat, couldn't, tried to research him. The initial A gave me nothing. Alessandro? Andrew? Adrian? I searched billionaire New York murder, but got 10,000 results. Half of them were TV shows. Tried billionaire British accent New York. Better. But still hundreds of possibilities. The problem was I didn't actually know anything about him except 1. He was rich. The suit, the car, the way he commanded those other men. 2. He was British or had lived there. 3. He was beautiful, unhelpful but undeniable. 4. He was dangerous, very, very dangerous. At 6 p.m. I showered, washed my hair twice, like I could scrub away the memory of his fingers tucking it behind my ear. At 6:30 I stood in front of my closet. "Wear something beautiful," he'd said. I owned exactly 3 nice dresses. One was from my college graduation. One was for job interviews. One was for funerals. Great options. I chose the interview dress. Black. Simple. Knee length. Nothing special. But when I put it on, I spent 20 minutes on makeup. Styled my hair carefully. Chose my only pair of real heels. Why are you trying to look good for him? He's a murderer. Because if I was walking into a trap, I'd do it on my terms, with dignity. That's what I told myself. At 7:25, Jasmine came home. Whoa. She stopped in the doorway. Hot date? Work thing, I lied. Last minute. Potential donor wants to meet. At 7:30 at night? Rich people keep weird hours. She looked skeptical but shrugged. Well, you look amazing. Good luck. Thanks. I grabbed my purse. Don't wait up. Text me when you're home safe. Always. Another lie. Because I had no idea if I'd make it home at all. In the car. At exactly 7:30, my phone buzzed. Outside. I looked out the window. A black Mercedes sedan idled at the curb. Tinted windows. Professional driver in a suit. This was it. Last chance to run. To call the police. to do anything except walk into this nightmare. But the image of that blonde woman flashed in my mind, her terrified face, her daughter, 8 years old. I grabbed my coat and headed downstairs. The driver opened the door as I approached. Middle-aged, neutral expression. He'd done this 1,000 times. "Miss Sinclair?" "Yes." "Please." He gestured to the back seat. I got in. The door closed with a heavy, expensive thunk. And as we pulled away from my building, from everything safe and normal, I realized I hadn't asked where we were going, hadn't asked what kind of restaurant, hadn't asked any of the questions a sane person would ask, because deep down, I already knew. It didn't matter where we went. What mattered was I was going to see him again. The man who'd killed someone in front of me. The man who'd touched my face with bloody hands and called me beautiful. The man who'd promised I'd forget everyone but him. And God help me. I think he might be right. Chapter 3. The car drove north, out of Brooklyn, across the bridge, into Manhattan. We passed through Midtown, kept going, Upper East Side. The buildings got taller, cleaner, more expensive with every block. Finally, we stopped at a restaurant I recognized by reputation only, Aurelio's, the kind of place where reservations required 3 months' notice and a reference from someone who'd already dined there, where a single meal cost more than my monthly rent. The driver opened my door. "Miss Sinclair, he's waiting inside." I stepped onto the sidewalk. The restaurant's entrance was understated. A simple black door with a brass number. No sign. If you didn't know, you didn't belong. A doorman appeared. "Good evening, miss. Right this way." Inside was dark wood, soft lighting, and the quiet murmur of people who had never worried about money in their lives. Maybe 20 tables, all occupied, all with enough space between them that conversations remained private. The maitre d' approached. "Miss Sinclair, we've been expecting you." "Of course you have," I muttered. He led me through the dining room, past tables of businessmen and elegant women, past a couple celebrating an anniversary, past a family with a teenage daughter who looked bored by the luxury surrounding her. Normal people, having normal dinners. And then I saw him. He sat at a corner table. The best in the restaurant, elevated slightly with a view of the entire room but shrouded enough for privacy. He'd changed from last night's suit to something even more expensive. Midnight blue, perfectly tailored, white shirt, no tie. The top button undone in a way that looked casual, but probably took 15 minutes to perfect. And when he saw me, he stood, full gentleman's gesture, like we were on a date, like he hadn't threatened me into coming here. "Sera." My name sounded different in his voice, careful, intentional. "You came. Did I have a choice?" "We always have choices." He gestured to the chair across from him. "Please." I sat. He waited until I was settled before sitting himself. A waiter appeared immediately. "Something to drink for the lady?" "Water," I said. "Just water. Still or sparkling?" "I don't care." "Sparkling," the man said smoothly. "San Pellegrino. And bring the tasting menu for both of us. Tell Marcel we're in no hurry." The waiter nodded and disappeared. I stared at him. "You ordered for me?" "You're nervous. Decision-making is difficult when you're nervous. I'm helping." He leaned back, studying me. "You look beautiful, by the way, though I suspect you'd look beautiful in anything." Don't what?" "Don't act like this is normal, like you didn't murder someone last night, like you didn't threaten me into being here." His expression didn't change. "I did all those things. I'm not pretending otherwise." "Then what is this? What do you want from me?" "Dinner," he said simply. "Conversation. The pleasure of your company." "You could have anyone's company, anyone in this entire city. Why me?" Something flickered in his dark eyes. Because you saw me. The real me. And you're still here. I'm here because you threatened an innocent woman and her daughter. True. No shame. No apology. But you're also curious. Admit it. I wanted to deny it. Wanted to say I felt nothing but fear and disgust. But I'd spent 2 hours getting ready. Had checked my reflection 3 times. Had felt a flutter in my stomach when I saw him stand. What's wrong with me? I want answers, I said instead. Ask your questions. Who are you? Your real name? Adrian Blackwood. He said it like I should recognize it. When I didn't react, he smiled slightly. You don't follow business news, do you? Should I? Blackwood Industries. We're in. Various sectors. Technology mostly. Some real estate. Import-export. Import-export. I raised an eyebrow. Is that code for something illegal? Everything I do is legal, technically. His smile widened. I have excellent lawyers. The water arrived. The waiter poured carefully, announced the first course would arrive shortly, and vanished again. I took a sip, buying time. What happened last night? The man who died. Who was he? An employee who made unfortunate choices. What kind of choices? The kind that involve stealing from me, and threatening to go to the authorities when caught. My stomach turned. So, you killed him. I did what was necessary to protect my interests. No emotion, like discussing the weather. He knew the risks when he accepted employment. And the woman? The blonde woman? Adrian's expression hardened slightly. His wife. She was there because she deserved to see what happens to those who betray me. She has a daughter. I know. 8 years old. Sophia. Attends Preston Academy. Lives at... He rattled off an address on the Upper West Side. Don't worry. They're being well taken care of. Financially, at least. The casual way he said it, like he'd memorized their details the same way he'd memorized mine, made my skin crawl. You're insane, I whispered. Possibly. He leaned forward. But I'm honest about it. Unlike the men in this room who'll smile at their wives while texting their mistresses. Unlike the woman 3 tables over who embezzles from her company. Unlike the politician 2 tables behind you who takes bribes weekly. His eyes never left mine. I don't pretend to be good, Sera. I just am what I am. A murderer. Among other things. He smiled. But also someone who finds you absolutely fascinating. The food arrived. Something delicate and artistic on white plates. I couldn't have named it if my life depended on it. Adrian picked up his fork, took a bite, waited for me to do the same. I didn't move. You need to eat, he said gently. You're too thin. When was your last proper meal? Why do you care? Because you interest me, and I take care of what interests me. I'm not a possession. Not yet. He said it so casually that it took a moment to register. Not yet. Like it was inevitable. Like I'd already agreed. This is insane, I said for the second time. You can't just claim me like I'm a painting or a car or... I can do quite a lot, actually. He set down his fork. I have resources you can't imagine. Influence you can't comprehend. When I want something, I get it. I'm not a thing to be gotten. No, you're a person, with thoughts, feelings, agency. He tilted his head. Which is precisely why this is interesting. I don't want a possession. I want you. Willingly. That will never happen. Won't it? He smiled. You're here, aren't you? Despite everything. Despite knowing what I am. You're sitting across from me, wearing that dress with your hair down the way I like it. I didn't, but I had. I'd worn it down. Because his fingers tucking it back had felt, no, stop. Tell me, Sera. He leaned closer. voice dropping. What do you think about when you're alone? Do you see me? Do you remember how I touched your face? I remember you murdered someone. And yet you dream about the touch, don't you? You woke up this morning and felt phantom fingers against your skin. I couldn't breathe. Because he was right. I'd woken up feeling exactly that. How? Because I felt it too. Simple. Direct. I've thought about nothing else since last night. Your eyes. Your fear mixing with something else. Curiosity. Attraction. You're delusional. Am I? He reached across the table, slowly, giving me time to pull back. I didn't. His fingers brushed mine, cool, steady. Your pulse is racing, he observed. You're terrified, but you're also intrigued. Admit it. I'm not. Liar. Soft, almost tender. You want to know what happens next. What I'll do. What you'll do. His thumb stroked the back of my hand. You want to understand why a man like me would become obsessed with someone like you. Obsessed. I tried to pull my hand back. He held it gently but firmly. From the moment I saw you in that alley, with your phone light and your brave, foolish decision to investigate a scream. His eyes burned into mine. Most people would have run, called the police from a safe distance, pretended they heard nothing. I should have, but you didn't, because you're not like most people. He released my hand, sat back. You're special, Sera Sinclair, and I intend to prove it to you. The courses kept coming. I managed to eat a few bites of each, more from shock than hunger. Adrian talked. About art. He knew I worked at Chen Contemporary. About New York. He'd lived here 10 years. About nothing that mattered. Like we were on a normal date. Like he wasn't holding my life in his hands. Finally, over dessert, something chocolate and exquisite, I asked the question that had been burning since I sat down. What do you want from me, really? He set down his fork, considered the question seriously. I want to know you. Every detail, every secret, every fear and dream and mundane preference. Why? Because I've never wanted that before. Simple, honest. I've had women, many women, beautiful, intelligent, accomplished women, but I never cared about them. Not really. They were pleasant distractions, transactions. And I'm different? You're different because you saw me kill a man and you're still here. Because you're terrified, but you're fighting it. Because when I touched your face, you didn't scream. You leaned into it. His voice dropped. You felt it too, the connection. There is no connection. It's trauma, Stockholm Syndrome, some psychological... Call it what you want. He smiled. It doesn't change what's happening between us. Nothing is happening. Everything is happening. He stood, pulled out his wallet, dropped several $100 bills on the table without counting. Come, I'll show you something. I'm not going anywhere with you. Yes, you are. He offered his hand. Because you want to understand. And because I'm the most interesting thing that's happened to you in your entire careful, safe, predictable life. I should refuse, should demand he take me home. I took his hand. Because God help me. He was right. Chapter 4. The car took us to a building in Tribeca. Glass and steel. Aggressively modern. The kind of place where doormen wore designer uniforms and the lobby had fresh orchids delivered daily. Mr. Blackwood. The doorman nodded as we entered. Good evening. Evening, Marcus. Adrian kept my hand in his, leading me to a private elevator, one that required a key card, one that only went to one floor, the penthouse. I'm not going to your apartment, I said, even as the elevator doors closed. You are, because I promised to show you something, and because you're curious. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. He smiled. Besides, If I wanted to hurt you, I'd have done it last night, in that alley, with no witnesses. There were witnesses. Your men. Who work for me? Who'd swear they were somewhere else entirely? He leaned against the elevator wall. I'm letting you see my home, Sera. That's trust. In my world, that's significant. The elevator opened directly into his apartment. And despite everything, despite the fear and the danger and the absolute insanity of this situation, I gasped. Floor-to-ceiling windows, views of the city that made it look like a toy model, lights glittering like stars brought to Earth. The furniture was minimal but exquisite. Modern art on the walls, real pieces, not prints, a Basquiat, a Hockney, an early Warhol, each worth more than my life. Welcome to my home. Adrian released my hand, walked to a bar in the corner. Drink? No. Suit yourself. He poured whiskey, neat, 2 fingers, took a sip. I stood by the elevator, ready to run if needed. You said you'd show me something. I am. This. He gestured around. My life. What I've built. I don't understand. Look at the art. Really look. I did. Moved closer to the Basquiat. A riot of color and text and raw emotion. What do you see? Adrian asked from behind me. Chaos. Pain. Brilliance. It's called self-portrait. Did you know Basquiat was homeless? Lived on the streets, sold t-shirts, struggled with addiction, and he created this. Beauty from suffering. You're comparing yourself to Basquiat? I'm saying we all have darkness. Some of us are just more honest about it. I moved to the next piece. The Hockney, a swimming pool, deceptively peaceful. Hockney painted this after leaving England, escaping the judgment, the smallness, the people who wanted him to be less than he was. Adrian appeared beside me. He found freedom in California, in being unapologetically himself. And you found freedom in... what? Murder. In control. He turned to face me. I grew up with nothing, Sera. Absolute poverty. Manchester slums, abusive father, drug addict mother, the kind of childhood that either destroys you or forges you into something unbreakable. I said nothing, waiting. I was 14 when I realized something. The world respects only one thing: power. Not kindness, not morality, not fairness. Power. He took another sip. So I decided to acquire it, whatever the cost. By becoming a criminal? By becoming successful. He smiled. The criminality is just practicality. Sometimes the most efficient solution isn't the legal one. That's insane. Perhaps, but I'm worth $3 billion. I employ 5,000 people. I've built hospitals in 3 countries. Funded schools in impoverished areas. Donated millions to cancer research. He moved closer. Does that balance the scales? Does my charity erase my sins? You can't buy redemption. I'm not trying to. His voice dropped. I'm trying to make you understand. I'm not a cartoon villain. I'm not evil for evil's sake. I'm a man who clawed his way out of hell and refuses to go back. Despite myself, I felt something shift. Understanding, maybe. Or the beginning of it. The man you killed last night. What did he steal? Information, client data, financial records. Adrian's jaw tightened. He planned to sell it to my competitors. Would have destroyed years of work. Ruined lives of people who depend on me. So you killed him. I eliminated a threat. He met my eyes. I know how that sounds. Believe me, I know. But in my world, showing weakness means death. Not just for me, for everyone under my protection. That doesn't make it right. No. Agreement. It makes it necessary. There's a difference. Adrian walked to the windows, stared out at the city. You asked what I want from you. His reflection in the glass looked haunted. I want someone who sees me. All of me. The darkness and the light. And doesn't run. I've tried to run. But you're still here. He turned. Why? I didn't have an answer. Or maybe I did, but couldn't admit it. Because despite everything, despite the horror and the danger, I'd felt more alive in the past 24 hours than in the past 24 years. Because when he'd touched my face in that alley, I'd felt seen in a way I'd never experienced. Because I'd grown up in foster care, moving every few months, never belonging anywhere. And somehow this dangerous stranger made me feel like I belonged. That's trauma bonding. That's not real. But it felt real. I should go, I said quietly. Should. He walked toward me, slow, giving me time to retreat. But will you? I don't know. He stopped a foot away. I meant what I said. You'll forget everyone but me. Not because I'll make you, but because no one else will ever make you feel what I do. And what do I make you feel? Alive. Simple. Devastating. For the first time since I was a child, I feel something other than hunger and ambition. I feel possibility. His hand came up, fingertips tracing my jawline like last night in the alley. But this time, no urgency, no threat, just touch. Gentle. Reverent. Say yes, he whispered. To dinner tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Let me show you who I really am. I've seen who you are. You've seen one moment, one choice. His thumb brushed my lower lip. Let me show you the rest. I should say no, should slap his hand away, should... 1 week, I heard myself say. You have 1 week to convince me this isn't insane. His smile was slow, triumphant. I'll need 3 days. Confident, certain. He leaned down, lips near my ear. Because I know something you don't yet. What? You've already decided. His breath warm against my skin. You just need permission to admit it. He pulled back, walked to the elevator, pressed the button. My driver will take you home. Sleep well, Sera. Dream of me. I won't. Liar, said with affection. Tomorrow, I'll pick you up at 7. Wear something comfortable. We're going somewhere different. Where? The elevator opened. He ushered me inside. Somewhere that will show you I'm not just the man from the alley. His eyes held mine as the doors began to close. I'm also the man who'll burn the world down before letting anything hurt you. The doors closed. I rode down alone, touching my face where his fingers had been, knowing he was right. I'd already decided. God help me. I got home at 11:47, exactly 24 hours since I'd witnessed the murder, since my life had fractured into before and after. Jasmine was already asleep. The apartment was quiet. I went to my room, changed into pajamas, washed off my makeup, and found myself at my window, looking out at the city. Somewhere out there, Adrian was in his penthouse, probably at those same windows, looking at the same skyline, thinking about me the way I was thinking about him. My phone buzzed, text from unknown number, but I knew. Good night, beautiful. See you tomorrow. Dream of me. I should block the number, should delete it, I saved it to my contacts, named it simply Adrian, and typed back, good night. Then before I could stop myself, I already am. I hit send before I could reconsider. His response came immediately. Good. Because you're all I'll dream about too. I turned off my phone, climbed into bed, and lay awake for the second night in a row. But this time, it wasn't fear keeping me awake. It was anticipation. Tomorrow I'd see him again, and the day after, and the day after that. For better or worse, Adrian Blackwood had entered my life, and I had a terrible, wonderful feeling he was never leaving. Chapter 5, the next evening. I told Miranda I needed to leave early. Personal emergency, I said, which wasn't entirely a lie. My entire life had become an emergency. She frowned. This is twice in 2 days, Sera. The Chen Contemporary expects— I know. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Another lie. I seemed to be collecting them. She studied me. You look different. My stomach dropped. Different how? I don't know. Brighter somehow. Are you seeing someone? Yes. A murderer. Very romantic. Yes, maybe. It's new. Her expression softened. Well, that's nice. You've been working too hard anyway. Go. But tomorrow I need you here until closing. Of course. Thank you. I practically ran out of the gallery. Adrian had said 7 o'clock. Casual dress. I'd agonized over what casual meant to a billionaire. Jeans felt wrong. The interview dress felt too formal. I settled on dark jeans, a silk blouse, my one expensive piece bought on sale, and ankle boots. Hair down, like he'd requested without requesting. The thought should disturb me. Instead, I'd checked my reflection 3 times. At 6:58, my phone buzzed. Outside. Take your time. I grabbed my jacket and headed down. But it wasn't the Mercedes waiting. It was Adrian himself. Leaning against a matte black Aston Martin. Jeans, black t-shirt, leather jacket. He looked normal. If you ignored the car that cost more than my student loans and the way every person on the street stared at him. Hi, I said, suddenly shy. Hi. His smile was genuine, warm, nothing like the cold calculation from 2 nights ago. You look perfect. You said casual. I meant comfortable. But you're perfect regardless. He opened the passenger door. Ready? For what? You'll see. We drove south, out of Brooklyn, toward Coney Island. The neighborhood got rougher, less gentrified, more real. Where are we going? I asked as the city gave way to boardwalk. Somewhere I used to go, when I first came to New York. He glanced at me. Before the money. Before everything. We parked near the pier. The Cyclone roller coaster loomed against the darkening sky, lit up and screaming. Adrian got out, came around to open my door. A carnival? I couldn't hide my surprise. An amusement park. He took my hand. Natural, like we'd done this 100 times. Come on. We walked toward the entrance, the smell of fried food and salt air, the sound of laughter and screaming, and that particular chaos of crowds having fun. So completely opposite of the restaurant last night. Adrian paid for tickets, cash like he'd done this before, and led me inside. When I first arrived in New York, I was 22, he said as we walked past game booths and food stands. Had $300 and nowhere to sleep. Spent the first week on this beach. Really? Really. He smiled at the memory. Thought I'd take over the city in 6 months. Typical immigrant arrogance. What happened? Reality. It took 2 years of sleeping in hostels and working 3 jobs before I got my first real break. Investment banking position. 70 hours a week. Barely legal visa situation. He stopped in front of the Cyclone. I came here every Sunday, rode this coaster, reminded myself why I'd left England, what I was fighting for. And what was that? Freedom. Power. The ability to never be helpless again. His eyes met mine. And now I'm showing you this because I want you to understand. I'm not just the man from the alley. I'm also the terrified kid who rode this coaster and promised himself he'd never go back to being nothing. Something in my chest cracked, because I understood. I'd spent my childhood powerless, moving from home to home, no control, no stability. Art had saved me, given me something I could control, create, own. Adrian had chosen a different path to the same destination. Let's ride it, I said, his eyebrows raised. The cyclone? You said it was important to you. Show me why. The coaster was old, wooden, the kind that rattled and shook and felt like it might fly apart at any moment. We climbed into the car. The safety bar came down. Adrian looked at me. Fair warning. This is terrifying. Good. The car lurched forward, started the slow climb. Click, 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 up and up and up. At the top you could see everything, the ocean, the city lights. The whole world spread out like a promise. This part, Adrian said, right here. This is why I came. Then we dropped. I screamed. Couldn't help it. The world blurred into speed and wind and pure adrenaline. Adrian laughed, full, genuine laughter. His hand found mine, gripping tight. And for those 2 minutes, racing through twists and drops and impossible turns, I forgot everything. Forgot the murder, the threats, the danger, forgot to be afraid. When we stumbled off, dizzy and breathless, Adrian pulled me close, steadying me. You're insane, I gasped. You love it. I stopped, because he was right. Yeah, I do. Come on. He kept his arm around me. I want to show you something else. We stopped at a ring toss booth. Rigged, obviously. Carnival games always were. But Adrian paid for 3 throws. What are you doing? Winning you something. He picked up the rings. What do you want? The giant teddy bear? The goldfish? I looked at the prizes, laughed. The octopus, the purple one. Done. He threw, missed, threw again, missed. 3rd throw. He made it. Barely. The ring wobbled on the bottle before settling. The attendant looked shocked. Huh. First time that's happened tonight. Adrian pointed at the purple octopus. That one. The attendant handed it over. Adrian presented it to me with exaggerated formality. For you, my lady. I hugged it. Ridiculous. Childish. But something about receiving a carnival prize from a billionaire murderer made me absurdly happy. Thank you. You're welcome. His expression softened. You have a beautiful smile. You should do it more often. Haven't had much to smile about lately. Then I'll make it my mission to change that. We walked the boardwalk, ate terrible carnival food, greasy fries, cotton candy that stuck to everything. Adrian told me about England, about growing up in Manchester, about a father who drank and hit, a mother who escaped into heroin. I was 9 when social services took me, he said. Spent the next 9 years in the system, like you. I stopped walking. How did you know? I know everything about you, remember? He smiled softly. 7 foster homes, never adopted. Aged out at 18 with nothing but a scholarship and determination. That's invasive. That's thorough. I wanted to understand you. And now I do. He turned to face me. We're the same, Sera. Survivors, fighters, people who clawed their way up from nothing. I didn't murder anyone to get here. Not yet, said without judgment, but you would. If someone threatened what you love, if someone tried to take away your hard-won safety, you'd fight with everything you have. I wanted to deny it, but could I? If someone threatened Jasmine, or Miranda, or the life I'd built, how far would I go? I don't know, I admitted. That's honest. He touched my cheek, that gesture becoming familiar. I like your honesty. It's rare in my world. What is your world? Really? You said technology and real estate, but that's the surface. He dropped his hand, started walking again. The truth? I broker information. Corporate espionage? Technically. Companies pay me to find out what their competitors are doing. Governments pay me to track threats. Criminal organizations pay me to hide their money. You're admitting this? To you? Yes. He met my eyes. Because I'm tired of pretending. With you, I want to be real, completely, terrifyingly real. Why me? Because you saw me kill someone and you're still here. Because you're not impressed by my money or my power. Because when I touch you, you don't flinch. You lean in. He stopped walking, turned to face me fully. Because for the first time in my life, I want something I can't simply take. I want you to choose me. Freely. The ocean crashed behind us. The carnival lights flickered. The world kept spinning. And I stood there, holding a purple octopus, looking at a man who'd murdered someone 48 hours ago. A man who'd just won me a carnival prize, who'd shared his past, who wanted me to choose him. I'm scared, I whispered. Good. You should be. He stepped closer. But are you scared enough to leave? I thought about it. Really thought. Going home to my safe, small life. My job, my roommate, my careful existence. Never seeing Adrian again. Never feeling this alive. No, I admitted. I'm not. His smile was slow, victorious, but also relieved. Then stay, for the rest of the week, like you promised. And then what? Then you decide, stay or go. But you'll have all the information, all the truth, and whatever you choose, I'll respect it. You'll let me go? Just like that. Something flickered in his eyes. I'll let you try. Not quite a promise, not quite a threat. That's not comforting. I'm not trying to comfort you. He tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, that gesture again. I'm trying to be honest. I want you, more than I've wanted anything, and I'll do everything in my power to make you want me too. But ultimately, the choice is yours. That's surprisingly decent of you. I contain multitudes. He smiled. Come on, one more thing before I take you home. We walked to the end of the pier, away from the crowds, just ocean and stars and the distant city lights. Adrian leaned against the railing. Ask me something. Anything. I'll answer honestly. Anything? Anything. I considered. So many questions, but one rose above the others. Do you regret it? Killing that man? He was quiet for a long moment. No. He made his choice. I made mine. Regret won't change anything. That's cold. That's reality. He looked at me. I won't lie to you, Sera. Not about this. I'm not a good man. I've done terrible things. I'll likely do more. But I draw lines. I protect what's mine. And I take care of the people who matter to me. Am I one of these people? You're becoming the only person. Raw. Honest. Which is why this is dangerous, for both of us. Why dangerous? Because caring makes you vulnerable, gives you weaknesses. In my world, weaknesses get exploited. His jaw tightened. There are people who'd love to hurt me. And now if they discover you matter, they'll come after me. Yes. I should be terrified, should demand he take me home immediately. Instead, I asked, so what do we do? We? He turned to face me fully. You're saying we now? Was I? I don't know. Maybe. For this week. For this week. He pulled me close. Sudden. Intense. God, you're going to destroy me. What? Nothing. He released me. Stepped back. Come on. It's late. You have work tomorrow. The drive back was quieter. Comfortable silence. When we pulled up outside my building, Adrian killed the engine. Thank you, I said. For tonight. For showing me that part of you. Thank you for seeing it. He reached over, took my hand. Tomorrow, same time. I'll show you more. More carnival games? More truth. His thumb stroked my palm. I want you to know all of me before you decide. No surprises. That's actually kind of sweet. Don't tell anyone. It would ruin my reputation. He smiled, brought my hand to his lips, kissed my knuckles. Good night, Sera. Good night. I got out, started toward my building. Sera? I turned. He'd gotten out of the car, stood by the driver's door, looking at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. I meant what I said. About protecting what's mine. If anyone threatens you, if anyone so much as looks at you wrong. His voice dropped. Dangerous. I'll end them. Understand? I should be horrified. Should tell him that's not romantic, it's psychotic. Instead, I felt warm, safe. What's wrong with me? I understand, I said softly. Good. Now go inside. Lock your door. I'll wait until I see your light come on. I went inside, climbed 6 flights, entered my apartment, went to the window. His car was still there, waiting. I turned on my lamp. After a moment, he got in his car, drove away. And I stood there, clutching a purple octopus, wondering how I'd let a murderer become the person I most wanted to see. Daan Daan Tani Chapter 6, the next day. Work felt surreal, discussing art sales and exhibition schedules while my mind replayed last night. Adrian at the carnival, laughing on the roller coaster, winning me that ridiculous prize. The purple octopus now sat on my bedside table, visible reminder that my life had fractured into before and after. Earth to Sera. Miranda waved a hand in front of my face. You've been staring at that Rothko for 5 minutes without moving. Sorry, just appreciating it. Appreciate faster. The donors arrive in an hour, and this room needs to be perfect. I refocused. Adjusted lighting, repositioned placards, checked sightlines, professional, competent, normal, while my phone burned in my pocket with messages from a man who'd killed someone 3 days ago. Thinking about you. Tonight. 7 p.m. Dress warm. We're going somewhere outside the city. Can't wait to see you. Each message made my stomach flip. Anticipation mixing with lingering fear. This is insane. You know this is insane, right? But insanity had never felt so much like living. I was adjusting the last painting when someone cleared their throat behind me. Excuse me. Are you Sera Sinclair? I turned. A man stood there. 50s maybe. Expensive suit but worn at the edges. Tired eyes. Something desperate in his expression. Yes? Can I help you? My name is Detective James Morrison, NYPD. He flashed a badge. I was hoping to ask you a few questions. My heart stopped. About an incident 3 nights ago, in an alley off Bogart Street. His eyes never left mine. We have reason to believe you might have witnessed something. Oh, God. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? He pulled out a phone, showed me a photo, security camera footage, grainy, but clearly me, standing at the alley entrance. Phone flashlight illuminating the scene. They know. That could be anyone, I said, voice shaking. The metadata from this camera shows 12:34 a.m. We pulled MetroCard records. You exited Morgan Avenue Station at 12:31 that night. Your regular route home goes right past this location. He put the phone away. So let's try again. What did you see? I need to call my lawyer. You're not under arrest, just asking questions. His voice softened. Look, Miss Sinclair, I've been working this cases like this, for 15 years. Adrian Blackwood is a dangerous man. If he's threatened you, if he's scared you into silence, we can protect you. Adrian. He knew. I don't know anyone named Adrian Blackwood. No? He pulled out another photo. Adrian at the gallery opening. The one where he'd bought the Rothko. He was here last week. Purchased a painting. Cash transaction. No questions asked. Detective Morrison's eyes hardened. You work here. You must have seen him. Lots of people buy art. Not like Adrian Blackwood. He's been under investigation for 3 years. Money laundering, corporate espionage, murder for hire. But he's smart, careful. Until 3 nights ago. I really can't help you. Can't or won't. He stepped closer. The man he killed, Marcus Chen, 38 years old, married, 2 kids. He made a mistake, yes, stole from Blackwood, but he didn't deserve to die in an alley like an animal. Guilt twisted in my stomach, because the detective was right. Nobody deserved that. But Adrian had said Marcus was going to destroy lives, ruin innocent people. And you believe him? The murderer? If you have evidence, arrest him, I said finally. We need witnesses, physical evidence, something that ties him to the scene. His voice dropped. You could be that something. You could save lives. The next person Blackwood decides is a threat could be you. Are we done here? He studied me, then sighed, pulled out a card. My number. When you're ready to talk, and you will be, they always are, call me. Day or night. I took the card, shoved it in my pocket. I don't know anything, I repeated. Then why do you look so scared? He left before I could answer. I locked myself in the gallery bathroom, sat on the closed toilet lid, tried to breathe. The detective knew. Had photos, evidence. If I came forward, Adrian would go to prison. The murdered man's family would get justice. And I'd be safe. But Adrian had said, threatened, that Marcus Chen's wife and daughter would suffer if I talked. That little girl, Sophia, 8 years old. Was he bluffing? Could I risk finding out? My phone buzzed. Adrian. Everything okay? You feel distant. How did he know? How could he possibly... Another message. Saw the detective leave the gallery. Don't worry, it's handled. He's watching the gallery. Watching me. I should be furious. Should feel violated. Instead, I felt... protected? Stockholm Syndrome. Trauma bonding. This isn't real. But it felt real. I texted back. We need to talk. Tonight. Before anything else. Of course. I'll explain everything. I promise. 7 p.m. I'll be there. The rest of the day dragged. Every visitor could be a cop. Every phone call could be a threat. When Miranda finally let me leave, I practically ran home. Jasmine was making dinner. Hey, want some pasta? I made too much and, whoa, you look awful. Bad day. Want to talk about it? Can't. I'm going out. That guy I mentioned. It's complicated. She set down her spatula. Sera, you've been different all week. Distracted, nervous, and now you look scared. Are you safe? Yes, I think so. That's not reassuring. I know. I grabbed her hand. But I need you to trust me. If anything happens, if I don't come home, or if I tell you I'm going away for a while, you're terrifying me. There's a detective, James Morrison. His card is in my desk drawer, top left. Give it to him. Tell him everything you know. What the fuck, Sera? I'm fine, I promise. It's just... insurance. Probably unnecessary, but just in case. She stared at me. Should I call the cops right now? No, God, no, I'm okay, really. I'm just being paranoid. Lie. All of it lies. But what could I tell her? That I'd witnessed a murder? That I was dating the killer? That I was in over my head in ways I couldn't explain? She'd call the police immediately, try to protect me. And Adrian had made clear what happened to people who betrayed him. I'll be home by midnight, I said instead. I promise. You better be. Or I'm calling everyone. Police, FBI, National Guard. Deal. Adrian picked me up at 7 exactly. But this time, he got out when he saw me, came around, pulled me into a hug before I could speak. You're shaking, he murmured into my hair. The detective scared you. He showed me photos, evidence. He knows I was there. I know. He's been investigating me for years, getting desperate. Adrian pulled back, hands on my shoulders. But he has nothing concrete. Nothing that will hold up in court. You're safe. What about Marcus Chen's wife, his kids? Being taken care of, financially, anonymously? The children have trust funds. The wife has a house, paid off. They'll never want for anything. That doesn't bring him back. No, it doesn't. He met my eyes. I can't undo what I did. Can't make it right. All I can do is minimize the damage, protect the innocent. Am I innocent? The question burst out. I saw you kill someone and I didn't report it. I've spent the last 3 days with you, enjoying myself. What does that make me? Human. Simple. Complicated. Real. His thumb brushed my cheek. You're not responsible for my choices. You're only responsible for your own. And what am I choosing? By being here? Me. Honest. Raw. You're choosing me. And I know that's terrifying. But I'll spend every day proving you didn't choose wrong. We drove north, out of the city entirely. Highways giving way to smaller roads, trees replacing buildings. Finally, we turned onto a private drive. A cabin appeared through the trees. Not rustic. Modern. Glass and wood. Gorgeous. Where are we? I asked as Adrian parked. Somewhere safe. Somewhere we can talk without being watched or recorded. He killed the engine. I want to show you something. Something I've never shown anyone. Inside, the cabin was warm, fireplace already lit, soft lighting. But what caught my attention was the wall, covered in screens, security feeds, financial data, encrypted messages scrolling. This is my real office, Adrian said, where I actually work. Control everything. I stared at the displays. How much of this is legal? About 40%. No shame. The rest is gray area. One screen showed the gallery. Chen Contemporary, my workplace. You're watching the gallery. I'm watching you. He walked to the monitors, pulled up different feeds. My apartment building. The subway station I used. Miranda's home. I have eyes on everything that matters to you. Everyone who could hurt you. That's insane. That's protection. He turned. After the detective visited today, I knew. You're at risk. Because of me. Because you witnessed something that threatens my freedom. He crossed to me. So I'm giving you a choice. Right now. Complete honesty. What choice? You can leave. I'll drive you home. Give you money to disappear. New identity. New city. Complete fresh start. You'll never see me again. Never be in danger because of me. Or you stay. Accept that this, us, comes with risks. Let me protect you, completely. Possibly obsessively. Definitely invasively. His hands framed my face. But you'll be safe. I swear it. I'll burn down the world before letting anyone hurt you. My heart hammered. Those are my options? Run or surrender? Those are the realities. I wish I could offer you normal. Coffee dates and movie nights and gradual, safe falling in love. His voice roughened. But I can't. This is what I am. What I can give you. The question is it enough? I looked at the screens. At the evidence of his obsession, his control, his dangerous, all-consuming attention. Run. This is your chance. Take it. But when I looked at him, really looked, I didn't see a monster. I saw someone as broken and desperate as me. Someone who'd clawed their way out of hell and refused to go back. Someone who saw me, really saw me, and wanted me anyway. I need you to promise me something, I said finally. Anything. The detective, Morrison, he's just doing his job. If he gets too close, if he becomes a problem, I swallowed hard. Promise me you won't hurt him. Adrian was quiet for a long moment. I can't promise that. Then I can't stay. Sera, I mean it. I'm not asking you to turn yourself in. I'm not asking you to stop protecting yourself. But that man, he's not like Marcus Chen. He's not a threat to your business. He's just trying to do the right thing. I stepped closer. Promise me, or I walk out that door right now. Conflict warred in his expression. Then, if he stays in his lane, if he doesn't actively threaten you or me, I'll leave him alone. That's the best I can offer. It's enough. I touched his chest, over his heart, because it means you're listening. You're trying. For you, he covered my hand with his. I'd try anything for you. Then try this. I stood on my toes, kissed him. It wasn't gentle, wasn't careful. It was desperate, necessary. The culmination of 3 days of tension and fear and impossible attraction. Adrian froze for half a second, shocked. Then he responded, his hands tangled in my hair, pulling me closer, deepening the kiss, taking control in a way that should have scared me. Instead, it felt right. Like this had been inevitable from the moment he'd touched my face in that alley. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, he pressed his forehead to mine. You're staying. Hopeful. Vulnerable. I'm staying. For now, until you give me a reason not to. I won't, I swear. I'll be whatever you need me to be. Just be honest. That's all I ask. Done. He kissed me again. Softer this time. Stay tonight. Here. Let me wake up with you in my arms at least once. I need to be at work by 9. I'll have you there by 8, with coffee and breakfast. I should say no. Should maintain boundaries. Okay. His smile was brilliant. Yeah? Yeah. He picked me up, literally swept me off my feet, carried me toward the bedroom. What are you doing? Making sure you don't change your mind. But he was laughing, happy in a way I'd never seen. And as he laid me on the bed, as he kissed me again, as his hands traced paths that made me forget every reason this was wrong, I realized I was happy too. For the first time in my careful, controlled life, I was recklessly, dangerously, impossibly happy. And I didn't want it to end. Chapter 7. The morning after. I woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows, and Adrian's arm draped across my waist. For a moment, I forgot everything. Forgot the murder, the danger, the impossible situation. Just felt warm, safe, wanted. Then reality crashed back. You slept with a killer. What's wrong with you? Adrian stirred, pulled me closer, pressed a kiss to my shoulder. Good morning, beautiful. Morning. My voice came out rough. Regrets? He asked it lightly, but I heard the tension beneath. I don't know yet. Honest. Ask me again when we're not naked. He laughed. Actually laughed. The sound vibrated through his chest into my back. Fair enough. Coffee? I make excellent coffee. You make coffee? Yourself? I contain multitudes, remember? He kissed my shoulder again, lingered. Besides, I like taking care of you. Something warm bloomed in my chest. Dangerous. Addictive. Coffee sounds perfect. He kept his promise. Drove me back to the city with coffee and bagels. Had me at the gallery by 7:45. Tonight? He asked as I gathered my things. I don't know. I need to think. Disappointment flickered across his face. Quickly masked. Of course. Take all the time you need. Adrian, I mean it. He touched my face. That gesture becoming ritual. I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, I'll be waiting. I kissed him, quick, before I could overthink it. His smile when I pulled away was worth everything. The gallery was quiet. Miranda wasn't in yet. Good. I needed time to compose myself, to figure out how I'd become the kind of person who slept with someone who'd committed murder in front of her. Not just someone. Adrian, who makes you laugh, who shared his past, who looks at you like you're the only thing that matters. I was organizing the front desk when the door chimed. Detective Morrison walked in. My stomach dropped. Detective. Miss Sinclair. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept. I was hoping to catch you before you started work. I told you. I don't know anything. That's interesting, because I have new evidence that suggests otherwise. He pulled out his phone, showed me a photo, Adrian's car, outside my building, last night. So Adrian Blackwood picked you up at 7 p.m., drove north, to a cabin in Westchester County registered under a shell corporation he owns. Morrison's eyes hardened. You were there until this morning, which means either you're incredibly naive or you're complicit. Ice flooded my veins. You're following me. I'm following Blackwood. You're just collateral. He put the phone away. Here's what I think happened. You witnessed the murder. Blackwood identified you somehow, and now he's manipulating you, making you think you're special, that he cares. Classic predator behavior. You don't know anything about... I know he's killed at least 7 people in the past 3 years. I can't prove it, but I know. Morrison stepped closer. I know Marcus Chen's widow is being paid off. Anonymous trust funds, untraceable. Blood money to keep her quiet. Maybe someone's just trying to help. Help? His voice rose. Her husband is dead. Her kids don't have a father. And you're defending the man who did it? I'm not defending. Then testify. Come to the station. Tell me what you saw. Let me protect you. I don't need protection. Really? Because the last woman who got involved with Blackwood disappeared. Vanished completely. No body, no trace. Just gone. He pulled out another photo. A beautiful woman, mid-30s, smiling. Her name was Victoria Reed. She was a lawyer. Brilliant. She discovered Blackwood was using her firm to launder money. Confronted him. And 3 days later, she disappeared. My mouth went dry. What are you saying? I'm saying you're not special to him. You're not different. You're just the latest in a pattern. Morrison's expression softened slightly. And I don't want to find your body in 6 months, so please, trust me. Let me help you. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Text from Adrian. The detective is lying. Victoria Reed is alive, living in Costa Rica under witness protection. Ask him why he's not mentioning that. I stared at the message, then at Morrison. Victoria Reed, I said slowly. Is she actually dead? Something flickered in his eyes. We don't know. She disappeared. But you don't have a body. You don't have evidence she's dead. I showed him the text. Is she in witness protection? Morrison's jaw tightened. I can't discuss ongoing investigations. That's a yes. Understanding dawned. You're trying to scare me. Make me think Adrian is some kind of serial killer. But you're lying. I'm trying to save your life. By manipulating me? That's not better than what you think Adrian is doing. The difference is, I'm trying to put a murderer in prison. Blackwood is trying to keep you quiet, permanently. He grabbed my arm, urgent. Please, before it's too late, before you're in too deep to get out. I pulled away. I think you should leave. Sera. Now, or I'll call building security. He stared at me, disappointed, angry, sad. When this goes wrong, and it will, you have my card. Call me. I'll still help you, even after you've made every wrong choice. He left. I stood there, shaking, phone clutched in my hand. Another text from Adrian. I'm sorry. I have cameras in the gallery. Security measure. I saw him grab you. Are you okay? Cameras in the gallery, watching me. Should horrify me. Should be the final straw. Instead, I'm fine. But we need to talk. Tonight. No more secrets. Agreed. I'll tell you everything. I promise. My place. 8 p.m. And Adrian? Come alone. No security watching. No cameras. Just us. Long pause. Then, okay, just us. The day dragged. Every minute felt like an hour. Miranda noticed. You're distracted again. This is becoming a pattern. I know. I'm sorry. Personal stuff. The new boyfriend? She smiled slightly. Must be serious. You've been different all week. It's complicated. The good ones always are. She touched my shoulder. Just be careful. You have good instincts. Trust them. My instincts said Adrian was dangerous, possessive, controlling. My instincts also said he was honest, protective, genuinely cared. Which instinct should I trust? At 7 p.m., I left work, stopped at a liquor store, bought wine. Good wine, not the cheap stuff. If I was going to have a tell me all your darkest secrets conversation with a killer, I wanted to be slightly buzzed. Jasmine was home when I arrived. Hey, want to order Thai food? I'm starving. Can't, Adrian's coming over. Her eyebrows shot up. Here, to our apartment. Yes, why? Because you've been weirdly secretive about him all week. I was starting to think he didn't exist. She studied me. Is he good? Like good for you? I think so. Maybe. I don't know. That's not reassuring. I know. I hugged her, sudden, tight. But I need you to trust me. And if anything feels wrong tonight, if you hear anything weird, or if I ask you to leave, you're scaring me again. Just do it. No questions. Promise? She pulled back, looked at me seriously. Are you in danger? Real danger? No, I don't think so. But I need insurance, just in case. This is insane. I know. Promise? She sighed. Promise. But if you die, I'm going to be so mad at you. Deal. Adrian arrived at exactly 8 p.m. I buzzed him up, waited by the door. 6 flights of stairs. He'd be winded. But when he reached my floor, he wasn't even breathing hard. Hi, I said. Hi. He held up a bag. I brought dinner. Didn't know if you'd eaten. That's thoughtful. I'm very thoughtful. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. He knew this was serious. I let him in. Jasmine was in her room, door closed, headphones on, pretending not to exist. Adrian looked around, taking in the cramped space, the threadbare furniture, the mouse hole we'd covered with tape. It's not much, I said defensively. It's you. He set the bag on our tiny table. That makes it perfect. Smooth, too smooth. Wine, I offered. Please. I poured 2 glasses, handed him one. We sat on the couch, our only couch, sunken in the middle, springs shot. So, I said, complete honesty. That's what you promised. That's what I promised. Victoria Reed, the lawyer who disappeared. What really happened? He didn't hesitate. She discovered I was using her firm to move money, confronted me, said she'd go to the authorities. My stomach nodded, and I offered her a choice. Disappear voluntarily, new identity, new life, set up in Costa Rica with enough money to be comfortable, or force my hand. He met my eyes. She chose Costa Rica. So she's alive. Very much so. Runs a yoga studio on the beach. Seems happy based on the reports. You're still watching her. I watch everyone who knows my secrets. It's how I stay alive. He took a sip of wine. She made a smart choice. Took the out. Built a new life. No one got hurt. Except her family, her friends, everyone who thinks she's dead. Better they think that than actually lose her. His jaw tightened. Morrison is using her case to scare you. Make you think I'm some kind of monster who kills anyone who gets close. Aren't you? I eliminate threats. There's a difference. He set down his glass. But you're not a threat. You're... what? Everything. Raw. Honest. You're everything I never knew I wanted, and that terrifies me more than any detective or investigation or enemy ever could. Despite everything, my heart twisted. Why? Because caring gives people power over you, makes you vulnerable, weak. He touched my face, that gesture. And I've built my entire life around never being weak again. But with you. He laughed bitterly. With you, I'd burn it all down. The business, the empire, everything. If it meant keeping you safe. That's not healthy. No, it's obsession. Possibly insanity. His thumb traced my cheekbone. But it's honest. The detective wants you to think I'm manipulating you, playing some long game. But the truth? I'm completely, utterly, terrifyingly sincere. I believed him. God help me, I believed him. What about Marcus Chen's family? The money you're giving them? I killed their husband, their father. Simple. I can't give him back. Can't undo it. But I can make sure they never worry about money, that the kids go to good schools, that they're taken care of. He paused. It's not redemption. It's just mitigation. Do you feel guilty? I feel responsible, he corrected. Guilt implies I'd do it differently. I wouldn't. He was going to destroy lives, innocent lives. My choice was let him, or stop him permanently. His eyes held mine. I chose to stop him, and I'd make that choice again. Silence stretched between us. I don't know if I can live with that, I said finally. With knowing what you've done, what you'll do again. I know. He stood. Which is why I'm giving you one more choice. Another choice? Walk away, right now. I'll disappear from your life. You'll never see me again. Never be in danger because of me. Never have to make impossible moral compromises. He pulled something from his pocket. An envelope. Inside is a bank account. $5 million. Enough to pay off your loans. Buy a house. Whatever you need. It's yours regardless of your choice. I stared at the envelope. You're trying to buy me? I'm trying to free you. He set it on the table. If you stay, it's because you want to. Not because you're trapped, not because you're scared, because you choose me. Freely. And if I take the money and leave? Pain flickered across his face. Then I'll know I couldn't be the man you needed. And I'll have to live with that. I looked at the envelope. $5 million. Life-changing money. Freedom from every financial worry I'd ever had. All I had to do was walk away from Adrian. From the man who terrified and fascinated me in equal measure. From the first person who'd ever made me feel truly seen. My hand reached out. Adrian watched, expressionless. I picked up the envelope, opened it, saw the account numbers, the balance. 5,000,000. Yours real. Actual. Life-changing. I set it down, pushed it back across the table. I don't want your money. Sera. I want you. The words tumbled out. I want this, whatever this is, even knowing what you are, what you've done, what you'll do. I stood, crossed to him. I want you. His arms wrapped around me, crushing, desperate. You're insane. Probably. I pulled back to look at him. But I'm making this choice. Eyes open, fully informed. I'm choosing you. Why? Because you see me. Really see me. Not the orphan or the struggling artist or the good girl trying to do everything right. You see me, all of me, and you want me anyway. I don't just want you. His voice rough. I need you. Like air. Like water. Like nothing I've ever needed before. Then prove it. I kissed him. Hard. Claiming. Show me this is real. That it's not just obsession or manipulation or... He kissed me back, lifting me, carrying me toward my bedroom. It's real, he murmured against my lips. It's the only real thing in my entire false life. And as we fell onto my bed, as his hands and mouth proved his words, as I gave myself to this dangerous, impossible man, I knew there was no going back. I'd crossed a line, made a choice. For better or worse, I was his, and he was mine. Ours. Chapter 8. The next morning I woke to voices in the living room. Jasmine's and Adrian's. Panic shot through me. I grabbed Adrian's shirt from the floor, threw it on, and rushed out. They were sitting at our tiny table, coffee between them, talking. Just want to make sure she's safe, Jasmine was saying. Because I love her. And if you hurt her, I will end you. I don't care how rich or powerful you are. Adrian smiled. Genuine. I respect that. And I give you my word. I'll never hurt her. Not intentionally. What about unintentionally? That I can't promise. I'm complicated. My life is complicated. And being with me comes with risks. He looked up. Saw me in the doorway. His expression softened. But I'll spend every day trying to minimize those risks, to keep her safe, to make her happy. Jasmine followed his gaze, saw me, raised an eyebrow. That's his shirt. Heat flooded my face. It was close. Uh-huh. She stood, grabbed her bag. Well, I'm late for work. But Adrian, we're going to have a longer conversation later. One that involves background checks and possibly threats. Looking forward to it. He stood, offered his hand. Thank you for caring about her. She shook it, looked at me. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Good. Because if you're not, I'm calling that detective and the FBI. She left. Silence filled the apartment. She's protective, Adrian said. She's family. I crossed to the table, poured myself coffee from the pot he'd made. What were you two really talking about? You. How much she loves you. How she'd do anything to protect you. He pulled me into his lap. Natural. Easy. I like her. She threatened you. I respect that. He kissed my neck. Anyone who loves you that fiercely is good in my book. You're in a good mood. I woke up with you in my arms. Of course I'm in a good mood. Despite everything, I smiled. We need to talk about logistics. Logistics? I have work, a life, friends. I can't just disappear into your world. I'm not asking you to. He turned me to face him. I want to be part of your life, not replace it. We'll figure it out. Together. Together. I tested the word. That's new for you, isn't it? Everything about this is new for me. Honest. But I'm willing to learn. For you. I was at work, cataloging new acquisitions, when Miranda called me to her office. Detective Morrison sat in one of her chairs. My stomach dropped. Detective? Miss Sinclair. Ms. Chen was kind enough to give me a moment. He stood. I'll be brief. I'm officially closing my investigation into the Bogart Street incident. I blinked. What? Lack of evidence. No witnesses willing to come forward. No physical evidence tying anyone to the scene. His eyes held mine. Which means Mr. Blackwood walks away. Again. I'm... sorry? Are you? He stepped closer, lowered his voice. I know you're involved with him now. I know you've made your choice. And I can't stop you. But I want you to understand something. What? Men like Adrian Blackwood don't change. They don't become better because they fall in love. They just become more dangerous. Because now they have something to protect. He pulled out his card. Again. When, not if, when this goes wrong, call me. I'll still help you, even though you didn't help me. He left. Miranda looked at me. What was that about? Long story. Does it involve your new boyfriend? Maybe. She sighed. I'm not going to pry. But Sera, be careful. Whatever you're involved in, make sure it's worth the risk. It is, I said, and meant it. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks of normality. Adrian came to my apartment, met my friends, had dinner with Jasmine and her girlfriend, bought supplies for the gallery, acted almost normal. We went to museums, restaurants, movies, did regular couple things. And every night he held me like I might disappear. I almost believed we could do this, have a normal relationship, despite everything. Then the envelope arrived, delivered to the gallery, addressed to me, no return address. Inside, photos, of me, of Adrian, of us together, and a note in cut-out magazine letters like something from a movie. You took what was mine. Now I'll take what's yours. My hands shook as I called Adrian. Someone's threatening me. I'm on my way. Don't move. Don't leave the building. He arrived in 15 minutes, surrounded by security, looked at the photos, the note. His expression went cold. I know who sent this. Who? Viktor Kozlov, one of Marcus Chen's associates. He pulled out his phone, made a call. Find him, now. Adrian. He's trying to get to me through you. His jaw tightened. That's not acceptable. What are you going to do? Protect you. He touched my face, but the gesture was different now. Harder. By any means necessary. Don't kill him. Sera, please, I can't. I can't be responsible for another death. My voice broke. Please. Just scare him. Make him stop. But don't kill him. Adrian studied me, then nodded slowly. Okay. I'll handle it differently. For you. Adrian didn't tell me details, just said it was handled. 3 days later, Viktor Kozlov left the country, permanently. What did you do? I asked. Gave him a choice. Leave and live. Stay and die. Adrian pulled me close. He chose wisely. You didn't hurt him? I scared him. Showed him evidence of every crime he's ever committed. Gave him a head start before I sent it to the authorities. He kissed my forehead. He's gone. You're safe. That's all that matters. You kept your promise. I'll always keep my promises to you. 6 months later, Miranda promoted me. Assistant curator to full curator. My own exhibitions. Real money. Career trajectory I'd only dreamed about. You've earned it, she said. Your work this year has been exceptional, focused, inspired. Thank you. Having someone who believes in you helps, doesn't it? She smiled knowingly. That boyfriend of yours, he's good for you. He is. Strange. True. But true nonetheless. Adrian had started collecting art through the gallery. Legitimate purchases. Legal transactions. Slowly cleaning up his businesses, reducing the illegal operations. I'm not going to become a saint, he'd said, but I can become less of a sinner, for you. We moved in together, not to his penthouse, too much, too fast, but a new place, ours, in Chelsea. 2 bedrooms, 1 for us, 1 for my studio. He bought me art supplies, encouraged me to paint again, hung my work on our walls like it mattered. Like I mattered. Jasmine approved, cautiously. He's still weird, but he makes you happy. And he's genuinely trying. I respect that. Even Detective Morrison seemed to back off. No more visits. No more harassment. Blackwood's been quiet, he told me once, running into me at a coffee shop. Legitimate deals only. Either he's gotten better at hiding, or... He studied me. Or you're actually making him better. Stranger things have happened. It happened on the High Line, full circle from our early dates. We were walking at sunset, golden hour, the city glowing. Adrian stopped at our spot, the view we'd shared that first week. "I want to show you something," he said. He pulled out his phone, opened a folder, showed me documents, legal filings, business transfers. What am I looking at? I'm selling off the illegal operations, all of them. It'll take 2 years to fully transition, but... He met my eyes. I'm going legitimate, completely. No more gray areas, no more questionable deals. Why? Because I want a future with you. A real one. Where I'm not constantly looking over my shoulder. Where you don't have to make moral compromises to love me. He took my hands. I want to be the man you deserve. Adrian, I know I can never erase what I've done, can never undo the choices I made, but I can make different choices going forward. He knelt, right there on the High Line, with tourists and locals and the entire city as witness. So I'm choosing you, completely, forever. He pulled out a ring. Simple, perfect, not ostentatious despite his wealth. Sera Sinclair, will you marry me? Will you take a chance on a reformed sinner? Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving that love can change people? Tears streamed down my face. Yes, yes, yes. I pulled him up, kissed him. Yes, yes, yes. He slipped the ring on, perfect fit, like everything with him. He'd done his research. People around us clapped, cheered, random strangers celebrating our moment. And as Adrian held me, as the sun set over the city we'd both fought so hard to conquer, I realized something. I'd witnessed a crime, met a killer, made the worst possible choice. And somehow, impossibly, it had become the best decision of my life. Epilogue, 1 year later. We married at the courthouse. Small ceremony. Just Jasmine, Adrian's business partner Marcus, a different Marcus alive and happy, and Miranda. No spectacle. No society wedding. Just us. Making promises. Making a life. Detective Morrison sent a card. It read, "Congratulations. You beat the odds. I'm genuinely happy for you. JM. We honeymooned in Costa Rica. Visited a yoga studio on the beach. Victoria Reed recognized Adrian immediately. Tensed. Ready to run. I'm not here to threaten you," he said. "I'm here to apologize. For forcing you to leave your life, your family, everything." She studied him. Then me. Understood. "You're different. I'm trying to be. Because of her? Because of me. But yes." She inspired it. Victoria smiled. "Then I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm happy here. Happier than I ever was in that old life." She looked at me. "Take care of him. He needs someone like you." "I will." We returned to New York, to our apartment, to our life. Adrian kept his promise. Went fully legitimate. Donated millions to charity. Became the kind of businessman written about in Forbes and the Times. I had my first solo exhibition. Sold out. Critics called my work visceral and unflinchingly honest. Adrian stood in the crowd, beaming with pride, and I knew. This was what happiness felt like. Not perfect, not without complications. We still fought, still struggled with his controlling tendencies and my stubborn independence. But we chose each other, every day, despite everything. Sometimes late at night, I thought about that alley. That moment when I'd heard a scream and broken the cardinal rule. Don't look, don't investigate, don't get involved. I'd broken the rule, witnessed a crime, met a monster, and learned that monsters could love, could change, could become something more. Not everyone got that chance. Not every story ended with healing, but this one did. Because I'd looked, I'd seen, I'd chosen. And Adrian had whispered in that alley, "You'll forget everyone but me." He was right. I'd forgotten every safe choice, every careful plan, every person who'd tried to tell me this was wrong, and remembered only him, only us, only the impossible, beautiful, terrifying love we'd built from darkness and danger and desperate hope. In the end, that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. The end.